Brooklyn, otherwise known as the Dramatic Otaku. Yes, as you can tell, voice is lowered, late night video. This is a spur of the moment video because of this. So, I almost every month have to rearrange my manga library. I do have manga over there as well. However, this is my main manga library, and why I am reordering it currently is because of this. I have all the volumes of Demon Slayer up to 21. I know if you can read all the volumes, you can see it starts at 3. That is because my boyfriend is currently reading Demon Slayer by stealing my volumes. No, I made him read these. Anyway, so yeah, I need to reorder my manga library because I have the full series here. I have 2 more volumes that I need to collect because I want the full manga series. However, volumes 22 and 23 have not been released in Australia yet, so I'm stuck with this. There we go, that's a lot better. So yes, as you can see, I have this whole shelf dedicated to anime and manga. You can usually see it in the backgrounds of my videos when I'm sitting at my desk, but this is what it looks like from this angle, and you are going to be joining me as I rearrange my manga shelves again, and I will give you some manga suggestions that you should read. But first of all, we're gonna cut to my other shelf with my Japanese manga, because I do indeed have manga in more than one language. So, as you can see, this is a mess. I keep all of like my K-pop albums, I keep anything related to anime albums. I have the Sailor Moon soundtrack from the original season in here. I have a bunch of plushies, but if you pull all that away, you can see all of my Japanese manga. I have The Disappearance of Nagato Yuki-chan. I don't think it's the full series, but it's the first 7 volumes. I also have volumes 3 to 11 of Fruits Basket in Japanese, and I also have, I believe it's Magus's Bride. Yeah, I also have that in here as well, because all of these manga that I can't yet read were taking space in my library, and because I had so much space in this pigeonhole, I put them all in here, but now I'm still running out of space in my library. I also have, like, back here, this is a drawing book for drawing manga clothing, and I have Pokemon books back here. One's a Pom-Pom Pokemon and one's a Pokemon cookbook. I don't think you can see that, but yes, I'll put them on screen anyway. But yeah, so back to the library, and we're back. Okay, so I don't know where to begin. I have this, which is from IKEA. This is a part of cosplay, and I painted this. So let's get into actually fixing this up. Okay, so first of all, Demon Slayer. Now, I really fucking love Demon Slayer. That's why I bought all of the volumes except for the last 2 thus far. Now, I kind of need to keep these out, open, and accessible to me because my boyfriend is borrowing them. So I think I'm gonna put Demon Slayer up here. Problem is, I decided to put like individual manga up here, so I kind of need like individual manga except for Sailor Moon. See, my predicament is this shelf down here is supposed to be manga that I'm ongoing reading. Problem is with the ongoing reading manga is that they're huge series. Like Demon Slayer and Kaguya-sama Love is War. Now when it comes to Kaguya-sama Lover's War, first of all, read it, it's amazing. If you watched the anime, first of all, why the fuck is the first season of Kaguya-sama Lover's War on Crunchyroll, yet the second season's on Funimation? Fuck you, Funimation. I don't like Funimation, and it really annoys me that I have to watch the second season on Funimation, on Anime Lab and all that shit. So, I opted for reading the manga before watching the anime, and I must say that Kaguya-sama Lover's War, much like Demon Slayer, is very close to the original source when it comes to anime adaptations. Having said that, I'm someone whose dreams get crushed very, very quickly when it comes to their favourite texts being adapted into film and TV media. I'm looking at you, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I'm going to be making, hopefully, a deep dive into Demon Slayer in the future. I really, really want to make a cons and pros list and just make a video about Demon Slayer because I fucking love this series so much. So much. And I could say the same about Kaguya-sama, however, Kaguya-sama is ongoing. And when it comes to like the volumes of Kaguya-sama Lover's War that I have, first of all, there's still volumes that are coming out that I need to read. I'm currently at volume 19, however, as you noticed, I only have up to 18. That would be because I've been buying the ebooks of Kaguya-sama's Lover's War, and then decided, you know what? I want the physical copies. So I've read up to chapter 19 in terms of ebooks and physical copies because I've bought some physical copies and then read the ebooks because I couldn't get to the other physical copies because I buy my books from Dimix QBD, which honestly when it comes to manga, QBD is a lot better. It's bad to say because I am a member of like the Dimix rewards program, but when it comes to manga, I greatly prefer QBD to Dimix because they usually have the manga that I am missing, and Dimix, I don't know, they seem to charge more for their manga compared to QBD, which is really weird to me. But I actually have found some manga in Dimix that have been interesting, like Mermaid Saga. And I will talk about this in a second, but first of all, QBD and Dimix. When it comes to QBD and Dimix, first of all, I am very pissy with Dimix, right? If you've seen my last of my anime film review series, you would know these two books, specifically this one, because I went into depth about how this one specifically has the plot to one of the Sailor Moon films in it. What I cut out is it took Dimix 8 months to send me these. And now, I don't blame the staff, I blame the people who run the website who said this was in stock. Because it was not in stock. It was an on-order item, and they had to get it from their distributor, and then they found out, oh, our distributor's empty, so we have to wait for a new shipment to the distributor, then send them to Dimix, and then send it to me. Frustration. I had to wait for 8. Now, it was during 2020 when I ordered these, but it was July 2020. We had been a couple months in this bitch. I was ready to wait 2 months. Completely fine. I waited 8. I got these in January of 2021, these arrived. I was so mad. I'm putting them back here for now, but that just soured my whole experience from Dimix. Now, Dimix and QBD aren't the only, like, places where I have bought manga from. I have also bought manga from Minotaur Comics, which is a store in Melbourne, which from memory has actually moved from its previous location and I have to track down. But yes, so back to the good parts of Dimmicks. Mermaid Saga. Now, if you recognize this art style, it would be because this is the same person who created Inuyasha. And I've never read Inuyasha, I've never watched Inuyasha, but if you're like me and haven't like read or watched Inuyasha or anything else by this creator, I would actually give this a shot. It's really good. There is apparently only 2 volumes, and I need to get the second volume. The problem is it's on order. I don't want to wait 8 months for another Mermaid Saga. It's so irritating. I'll talk about Minotaur Comics and my experience with getting manga from then in about a moment, but I would give this a read, especially if you do love Inuyasha. If you love the art style, if you love the storytelling, I would go with Mermaid Saga, 100%. It's basically a bunch of threaded together one-shots of, well, an immortal man who only became immortal because he ate the flesh of a mermaid. And that's all I'm going to tell you. But yes, if you pick up Mermaid Saga, honestly it's worth a read. It's quite thick, and there are apparently only 2 volumes. So yeah, I might put that in individual manga up here. And here's the next one, and the first volume of this series I got from Minotaur Comics in Melbourne. Problem with Minotaur Comics in Melbourne, while they do have manga that you will not see in a conventional bookstore, they also have titles that they just don't restock. Such is the case with Eden of the East. I saw it years and years ago, tried to go back I think last year to get Eden of the East. They said that the last DVD they sold of Eden of the East, because it went out of print, this one went out of print so it's fine, was back in about 2017. But this one, again, I found this in Minotaur Comics again last year, and I thought it was like, first of all, the 2 things that drew me to it. One, the character somewhat looks like me. Somewhat. I thought she looks like me when I picked up the book, mainly from the like heavy eyebrows, dark brown hair, up in a ponytail, that kind of stuff. I know, very different, but what also drew me to the book, from the creator of Yuri on Ice. Of course I was going to pick up this fucking book. I tried to go back to see if they had the second volume, and this is where the downside to Minotaur Comics comes in. They didn't, because of the lack of people buying these books. I asked them, like, do you guys have a restock coming at all? And they're like, no, the last volume got sold in 2020. That was me. So, they did offer me and say, we can order it in for you, but that will take a while, and I'm like, no, it's fine, I'd already been traumatized by Dimmicks. So yeah, essentially this book is, it is about a boy who is essentially seen as a delinquent, though he's not, you know, the classical anime trope. He's just a loner, and he and a classmate falls down the stairs on their last day of high school, only to be brought back to their first day of high school. Yes, this is about a essentially time travel-esque story, except they're stuck in the past. They have to relive the 3 years of high school that they had, and the main character has to go back and the main character goes back and tries to bring back, what were they called? Udan. And the main character tries to bring back the Udan. I'm gonna put the word here because I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not. This is a really, really good book series. Personally, I smashed these out and I love them. I say that I only have 2 volumes. Now the second volume, now first of all, the texture between these two is really, really different. That would be because I bought this in store. This I got off Amazon. Because this is the only place, Amazon is the only place where I can fucking find these. I am so angry. I don't like Amazon. I have said that before and I'll say it more in the future. I don't like Amazon, so it sucks that this is where I have to buy these books from. And if I do, it's few and far between. So far the first 2 volumes are amazing. I really want to get the next 10 volumes because this is a completed series. There's 12 volumes. If you like Yuri on Ice, I'm not gonna say probably read this book. It's more of a slice of life book. So maybe if you're more into like just cheesy slice of life, maybe Kyoto Animations type anime, maybe pick up this book. If you're interested in seeing more art by the creator of Yuri on Ice, or sorry, co-creator of Yuri on Ice, then maybe pick up this book. That's why I picked up this book in the first place, and it turns out to be really, really good. So yeah, that is, again, the next in my treasure trove of the first thing. And the reason why I'm wearing these lovely earrings is Junji Ito. So I have, so all of these I got between Dimmix and QBD because where I go for my local Dimmix and QBD are like 2 stores away. So I can go into QBD, walk down the like fucking shopping strip, and there's Dimmix. So if they don't have it in QBD, they have it in Dimmix. So I got Tomie and Uzumaki. I have the collections from Viz Media. I have the giant collections from Viz Media. My favorite out of like the Junji Ito collection in terms of their like giant long form books is honestly Uzumaki. I really love Tomie, but Uzumaki 100% is my favorite. I don't know if I've said this before, but no, I haven't. Sometimes I post unlisted videos onto my YouTube channel that's for school, and I talked about Junji Ito in a school assessment because I based a story off of a Junji Ito story, and when it comes to Uzumaki, personally, the most horrifying story to me is number 8, which is, I think, Snails? What's it called? First of all, the inside's gorgeous. Creepy, gorgeous though. The snail, yeah. So, chapter 8, the snail, is honestly the most horrifying for me. Obviously the first chapter and the end of the first chapter, fucking horrifying. Like, Junji Ito really like grips you in with that what's gonna be on the next page kind of factor. But the snails personally is the most horrifying of Uzumaki for me. It's like, if you've read it, I don't know how you would feel about it, but when it comes to the factor of someone going from human to a snail and just losing their sense of self and losing the fact that they're human, like losing their humanity and gaining the instincts of a different species, really creepy to me. I don't know why, but yeah, it's just really, really, really weird. I don't know why that specific story gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's probably because I also don't like slugs and snails. I really don't. Though this very much contributed to me hating slugs and snails even more. When it comes to Gyo, I didn't actually like this one all that much. It's a good story. It does, to me, have this more gross out factor than anything else. It felt lackluster to me personally, especially after reading Uzumaki. Gyo just wasn't it for me. And when it comes to Tomie, out of these 3 series, Tomie was the first one I read, and I really loved it. It took me like I think 2 days to read. Like Uzumaki, that's Gyo. Gyo took me about I want to say 3 hours to read, maybe even less. It maybe took me 1 hour to read, but Uzumaki definitely took me about 5 to 8 hours to read, because I had to like put it down, process, do some stuff, go back to reading. I think I smashed it out in about 5 to 8 hours. But Tomie I like read on the train, went into the city, read Tomie. I thought it was actually Tommy originally. I didn't know it was Tomie, though probably should have guessed it was Tomie from the fact that it's a Japanese book. But yeah, what's my favorite Tomie story? I can't tell. I know for a fact the one in here, I think labeled Hair, actually inspired a story that I'm currently writing. That was a sickening thought that I had like when I was having blood tests and stuff like that. Just anxiety mixed with Junji Ito made a story in my head. When it comes to Gyo, I actually like the 2 like little stories that they added at the end, because if you didn't know, Viz Media put Gyo with this sad tale of Principal Post and one of Junji Ito's more well-known short stories. I won't show you because there's spoilers for the end of the story of Principal Post, but The Enigma of the Amigara Fault, and I actually love that story so much. I watched it on YouTube, like a voice actor like read The Enigma and Amigara Fault before actually reading it myself, and like just reading it myself and then also listening to a voice actor read it, it is like one of my favorite short stories by Junji Ito. But moving on to short stories, first of all, this was the first Junji Ito book that I ever read. If you're too scared, like if you're like me, bit of a scaredy cat, hate horror, this would be the perfect way to get into Junji Ito, which is Junji Ito's Cat Diary Yon and Mu. It's more of a comedy type book than anything else. It's very short, there's only one of them, and yeah, it's just about his experience with his cat and his wife's parents' cat, Yon and Mu. And yeah, if you want to get into Junji Ito, this is the book that you use to get into Junji Ito, because if you are like a scaredy cat like me, I would suggest that book more than anything. If you're not, then go straight for like Tomie, Uzumaki, Gyo, any of those. Now onto the short story series. Now there is a new, I think there's 2 new short story books coming out. One of them being Sensory, I believe that's the one that's coming out. I have currently, out of all of the short story books, I got Frankenstein first because it's the story of Frankenstein. I was actually at the time studying Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. This is Junji Ito's twist on it. This also has 5 stories based around the character of Oshikiri. The first one being Next Spectre, and from this short series of short stories, Next Spectre is my favorite. It just gave me like a jump the first time I read it, and having that be like the first time I jumped at a Junji Ito book, the first time I felt horror from a book at all, it slowly became very quickly became my favorite. So the next one that I bought, and I bought this from Minotaur, was Lovesickness, which is actually one of the more recent releases from Viz Media's Junji Ito collections. It's all essentially the same stories. Yeah, there's two main like connecting stories within this collection. One being Lovesickness. Honestly, all of the like Lovesickness series it's probably the best part about this book. I didn't like the strange tale of the Hikiziri kids. Ribs Woman was quite interesting, but I'd already read it at that point. Wasn't a huge fan. Phantom Pain was quite interesting, but I much preferred Lovesickness. Out of all the collections, this one personally is the most lackluster to me, at least compared to all the other ones. Speaking of the other ones, Smashed and Shiver. I believe I got these from QED, and in here, Blood-Sucking Darkness, Ghost Primetime, Raw, Earthbound, Death Row Doorbell, The Mystery of the Haunted House, Mystery of the Haunted House Soichi's version, Soichi's Beloved Pet. So if you didn't know the character of Soichi, he's the kid that you see that like plays with nails and has like nails in his face and all that. I really like the tales of I think it's the Mystery House or is the Mystery Mansion? The Mystery of the Haunted House. There are a bunch in here. Personally my favorite is all of the Soichi ones, but specifically the Mystery of the Haunted House is probably my favorite. I've started with Smashed, but I read Shiver first. But yes, the Mystery of the Haunted House is my favorite. The two Mysteries of the Haunted House are my favorite. And that was because it not only has Soichi, but it also has, what's her face? Also has the story of the fashion model. Now Shiver is fucking terrifying. Out of all of these, so this has like some of the most popular Junji Ito stories in them. It has obviously Shiver, it has I think it's the 1,000-Year Sleep or something like that. Hold on. It has the fashion model, which if you read, I won't actually say which one it is, but yes, it also has the fashion model in it, and the fashion model is a reoccurring character in Junji Ito's works, and she actually appears in one of the stories of Smashed. Now, personally, I think out of all of these, this also has a Tomie story in it. It has the painter, which is the most famous Tomie story. However, I have to say my favorite probably is the one I hate the most is The Long Dream, but when it comes to ones that I like, I have to say Fashion Model is actually really interesting. Used Record as a start is also very interesting, and Hanging Blimp I also really like. So, continuing onwards. Oh god. So we have the Sailor Moon series. Oof! This one's more of a pickup if you actually like the story of Sailor Moon. If you want to start reading the Sailor Moon manga, or if you like the Sailor Moon Crystal, definitely read the manga. There is only 12 volumes, but there is also, as you guys noticed earlier, hold on, put all these in here, 2 bonus books. These ones I think are marketed separately to the actual series, but they're Sailor Moon shorts. They're a bunch of one-shots, and the second one has one of the plots of the movie in them, Otome Mania. Now, first of all, where the fuck is the romance in this, right? For a story called Otome Mania, now I only got the second volume and I got this in Minato Comics, because this is not your conventional manga that you would find in a regular store. There's only 2 volumes, and this is supposed to be a harem or reverse harem type manga. However, there is no romance. It is just like a workplace slice of life type manga, and I got cheated because I was expecting romance. For a short series, for a 2 manga series, it's actually pretty good. However, I will not be picking up any more like this. These are manga that I actually have not read. Given, don't know about anything about it, I have the first 3 volumes. Idle Dreams, got this at Minato Comics, don't know what it's about. and Sakura Hime. I actually got this at QBD. It looked really interesting. It's got that classic 90s anime kind of style, and I really wanted to read it, but I've just never gotten to it. Another one that I have not read, Shortcake. Shortcake. I picked this up, I started reading it, and I just lost interest immediately. So I have it. I'm not gonna read it, I don't think. Now we've got Natsume's Book of Friends. This is one that I actually have read the first 3 novels, except that was in high school, right? Natsume's Book of Friends, half of these I got at QBD, half of these I got at Minato Comics. Now the thing with this series, I only have the first 3 volumes and number 10 and number 9. I started reading this series when I was in high school, so I don't remember a huge lot about it, except for there being a boy named Natsume. Something happens to him where either he almost dies or he comes in contact with a dragon or something like that. He's able to see yokai, and he has a book where he has to, I think it's set the yokai free. I can't remember, honestly. I really want to reread this series. I just want to, like with Demon Slayer, like with Kaguya-sama, get the physical copies first. And because I've been reading Kaguya-sama and Demon Slayer, and at the time when I bought these, I was reading Sailor Moon and Kaguya-sama, and then I just moved to Demon Slayer and Kaguya-sama. Hopefully I can get back into this series. I really liked it in high school, but because I was borrowing it from the library, because my library was cool, we had manga, I didn't get to read it all. Mainly because I started reading it in year 11 and 12, and if you are in Australia, you would know how difficult year 11 and 12 was. University is so much harder. I don't know why I'm complaining about year 11 and 12. I would love to go back to year 11 and 12. I picked these up because of how concerning the front cover of the first volume is with the name of the series. The Water Dragon's Bride. And no, you're not hallucinating. That is a child. It is a child. I was with a friend and she dared me to buy these. So I did because I was really concerned. The first volume, she is still a child. Second volume, she's a child, but by the end of the volume, she is an adult. So essentially, the Water Dragon's Bride is the is meant to be a romance series. It starts off really weird about a child who has been brought in from our world into this world of the water dragon, and I don't know if it's a time travel thing or if she's actually from a different world, but she stays there until she's a grown adult, and some Little Mermaid type shit starts happening. Honestly, by the end of the second volume, I kind of wanted to read the third. However, the first 2 volumes are really strange. There's nothing romantic happening between the adult water dragon and his bride in the first 2 volumes. The water dragon's just trying to understand human emotions in the first 2 volumes. So there's nothing romantic going on, thankfully. However, I kind of want to pick up the rest of the series and see how it goes, though I'm not too fussed with this series. Would I recommend it? Only if you're really, really, like, dedicated to reading this series and am not deeply disturbed as to why a dragon picked up a child. Kidnapping? Yes, that is what this series is. Taking a child away from their home. Weird. Anyway, that's the reason why I have that book, and I was a little relieved, but also very deeply disturbed. So going on to another series that I have completed, but I want to get all of the volumes for, and that is I'll Have to Ride. otherwise known as Blue Spring Ride. Now, this series is a romance series that's been turned into an anime, and my best friend, recommended this series to me. It is amazing. Like, I love it so much. It is, if you love romance series, this is the series for you. Fucking go for it. It is amazing. 100% if you love romance manga, go for this series. It's cute, it's adorable, it's lovely, and you will love the ending. It's amazing. I love it. Everyone gets a happy ending. Now, this series is by the same mangaka, and this is Love Me, Love Me Not. Now, I bought this series originally because A, it's by the same author, and B, I had $5 that I could spend from Dimmick's reward points. So I picked up volume 1. Now, to say there's a weird dynamic going on between this stepbrother and his stepsister is really weird, to say the least, and very uncomfortable. And I've got up to volume 6. I believe this is an ongoing manga as as volumes 7 through 10 are still coming out in Australia. I don't know when the series will finish. It might finish at volume 13. I wouldn't say 13, it might end at volume 12, similarly to like How to Ride. This is a very, despite the discomfort in the first couple of volumes, it actually might be worth a read. The more you get into it, the more it gets better. I want to say maybe volume 4 is where it gets really good, maybe volume 5, I don't remember. No, not volume 4. Maybe volume 6, I really don't remember when it gets good, but it does get good later in the series, in terms of what I have. I bought the ebooks for 7 and 8, and I can't remember the difference between all these different volumes. I wouldn't recommend this as much as the first manga of this mangaka that I suggested. I wouldn't recommend this as much as How to Ride, but if you like romance manga and you like the mangaka of and you like the creator of How to Ride, maybe give this a shot. Maybe. Okay, oh god, now we're on to my singular series. I've got 1 volume of Black Butler, never really got into it. This I bought at my first convention. It is the 4th of the series, and I got this in a discount section, meaning that these are either discontinued or that they don't have the rest of the series around it. I believe this is a discontinued series. I can't find the first 3 volumes, so I've never read this before. On the other hand, I actually have read this one because this is the first of the series. This is a discontinued manga. I would not go out of your way to read it. It's pretty good for whatever it is. I'm not even gonna explain it, it's really fucking weird. And it's discontinued, so don't go for it. This one, Magia the Ninth. So I bought these both at Minato Comics. They have sadly discontinued the fucking manga. I am so sad. This is actually pretty good. It is a music fighting type manga, and they all use code names based on famous composers like Beethoven, Mozart, Bach, all of those fucks. But this is a discontinued series. If there's a 3rd volume, I'll update you, but I'm so disappointed to say that this is a discontinued series because it's really good. My Hero Academia. I want to collect these before I actually read them. Yes, one is in Japanese. The next series is one that I've also finished. It is Auran High School Host Club. I've gotten... Yeah. any of my manga that sticks together is from Minotaur Comics because they have these really weird tags that is all like metal stuff and I have to like peel it off and it never fucking comes off, okay? This one I got from QBD. I have the first 2 volumes and 11 and 18. I read this back in the day. Bones robbed us so badly with Auran High School Host Club. We need a reboot of it. We don't need a second season. We need a reboot because so much was taken out from like the manga. Like they got like maybe stop. All of you on the floor. They got maybe like the main portions from the first 2 or 3 volumes. However, they jumbled them all up in the anime and took out some really funny bits from those arcs, such as when they're all staying at Nekozawa's. When they're all staying at Nekozawa's house, they play a game and they just left that out because it ends up being really funny in my personal opinion. It ends up being really fucking funny. Why? Also, I think in the first volume, you can see Tamaki trying to make ramen. And it's also really funny because it's one of those like instant coffee moments, except it's with ramen. It's really weird. At least I think that's what it is. I may be misremembering. Nurigami. Now I want to collect all of it, like with Natsumi's Book of Friends and the manga that I'm about to show you. Nurigami, I love the anime series so much. Like the openings to the anime slap, but I saw these in both Minotaur and Dimix, wanted them, so I got these for Christmas, got them for myself for Christmas, and yeah, I will eventually be reading the Nurigami series after me having watched the 2 seasons of Nurigami that we have. So yeah, if you like Nurigami, maybe read the books. I'm going to, so. And finally, we have Haikyuu. Now, why are these 2 much more than this? These 2 are in Italian, which is why it says Haikyuu Lasso dei Voli. Yes. And this one's in English. I bought this at like Demix. These my dad got for me in Italy. My dad also got me 2 French manga, which is essentially Beauty and the Beast, but it's manga form and it's in French. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I really don't want to put my Genji Ito books up here, but I might do that. Okay, I think the short series that I've finished, maybe go on there, maybe? I don't know. I'm lost. Okay. Let's do this. What the fuck was that? That buzzing is the vibrations of my items on my shelf. I need new shelves. So it's been 3 days. And I cleared some space, and we're gonna be rearranging my shelves again. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is moving all these down here. I will not be doing a review of all of them like I did with my manga. And I'm probably going to be moving my completed series down to this one. And this includes like manga that I want to add to. I'm going to put, I think, my Junji Ito books up here. And also put like misc books that I don't know if I'm going to read or not. And then in here, I'm going to... I don't think you can see this one, but I'm gonna put like the ongoing series that I am reading. So yeah, we're gonna get into it again. This is how often I do this. So I finished my 3 manga libraries, 4 if you count the one over there, but it's 3 manga libraries. You can see up here is all like, first of all, it's got all my Junji Ito stuff, so I can like easily move these out of the way and like just put in more Junji Ito books back there. Having that like open area, that's all just like miscellaneous manga that I can either like, I'm not collecting just yet, or I either haven't read or I'm like kind of lost interest in. Besides all like the Junji Ito stuff, which is mainly just short stories, I've like just put all my miscellaneous manga there. Over here is manga that I've like completely finished and I'm now just like kind of collecting the novels. So obviously at the front here is all the Demon Slayer, because once again, my boyfriend is stealing some of my Demon Slayer books. So I've left this at the front so I can easily get it. I'll rearrange it later and put all of these at the back and probably move like all of my Sailor Moon books back here. I've got my Auran High School Host Club. Magia on the 9th will probably stay where it is. And then back here is Ao Haru Ride. And Ao Haru Ride will probably move to the front. Same with Auran High School Host Club, because I really want to collect all of the manga series. I will hopefully be doing a video on the Auran series, Demon Slayer, and maybe Sailor Moon as well. I definitely want to do a Sailor Moon video. Problem is, I have not watched all of the anime. I've watched about, I want to say 80% of the 90s anime. Now moving on to this one. I really like this one most of all because it's a manga that I'm actively reading and still collecting the manga for. So I've put Kaguya-sama at the front because this is the one that I am most interested in currently, like except for Gen and Mermaid Saga, but those two, Mermaid Saga will be like finished soon once I get the second book, and again I have to buy off of Amazon, so I'm probably gonna do like get all the volumes in one shot. And then behind Kaguya-sama, Love Me Not, Haikyuu, and yes, there is space back here because of the smaller Italian novels. And then I've got Natsume's Book of Friends as well. Moving books and a camera is difficult. But yeah, I've got Natsume's Book of Friends as well because I really actually want to start rereading that, because this Love Me Not and Haikyuu are a lot more accessible than these two. And Kaguya-sama, I'm just waiting on the newest manga releases and trying to like fill in the gaps. So yeah, that is my manga library completely reorganized. But yeah, that is my video for today. it was more of a chill video than anything else. I hope you guys enjoyed. Will I be making another video like this in the future? Probably not. I mean, unless I completely rearrange my figures, which I might do in the future. But if you guys want, like, I don't know, a look through of my figures, again, my figures, my Funkos, like any of my anime merch, then I can do that. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!